Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
All right, welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, or a little earlier sometimes. We talk about guns for an hour. So we're starting a bit early tonight. Normally we start at the midnight, but starting early tonight. So we'll see if anyone shows up early and joins us for the conversation. We are going to be doing the conclusion of Wolverine Week. So we'll be letting people jump in or chat and take what Wolverine patches they want from the pile. And we'll be talking guns. That's what we are known for. And I am eventually going to click over to the gun calendar and see what's going on over there. I think there's actually nothing going on over there today. Yeah. So we have tomorrow, is the 4th of July, obviously, so there's all that. It's also the anniversary of the opening of the Rock Island Arsenal Museum, 1905, which is our second oldest museum. So the only older one is in West Point, and hasn't been open the whole time, but started in 1905 originally. I also found out that, I gotta go find out what year, but I found out that Neil Knox started, let me see if I go in through here, it's probably faster. He started the Gun Firearms Coalition. So not the Firearms Policy Coalition, but just the Firearms Coalition back in, I'm going to go find the date here. Maybe not. I have to go to comments that I have responded to. And here we go. So Jeff was telling us that his dad officially launched the Firearms Coalition in July 4th of 1984. That's pretty cool. That's the same year as Red Dawn and Terminator and other stuff. So July of 1984, Firearms Coalition started with the distribution of the first Hard Corps report, which was a newsletter back in the day. So that makes this Saturday the 36th anniversary of the organization. He's been running it now for 15 years, and it's been continually sending out perspective, hardcore, right? Second Amendment perspective, pretty much regularly. I don't want to say monthly because I don't know, but I think regularly. Let's see. Since I'm in here looking at comments, I posted a video earlier. I posted a video a long time ago. I guess it went live earlier about some gun books that I bought. I was looking at a specific book about the Smithsonian collection and found it on eBay for a couple of bucks, and it came with a whole bunch of other books. So I did an unboxing. Is it time? Monday. I wonder why that went up today. Well, maybe I just had it. Either people are just reading it today or it did go up today. I don't really know. And maybe I had it go up on the wrong day. I probably had it launch on the wrong day. Anyhow, so bunch of comments about the book. So as I was going through the collection of books, number one, they're gross. They stink. But number two, there was another book in there that I didn't even know about when I bought the book about the Smithsonian. But one of the projects I'm working on, of course, is the Firearms Museum tour or passport tour. The idea of checking out the different firearms museums here in the United States. And when you get into the museums, as you start to dig into their history, you inevitably get into the collections, right? The collections that make up the museums. For example, the collection at the 45th Infantry Division Museum in Oklahoma City is a private collection. Like, I think it's mostly at least one private collection. You've got the Autry Museum in Los Angeles. That's one or maybe two private collections that make up the firearms in that museum. The Tulsa Woolaroc. That collection, was acquired from somebody, I think. I remember right. I'm trying to remember the person's name, or if I'm thinking of the right museum. So anyway, these museums have collections of guns that sometimes are accumulated by people and then obtained by the museum or curated by the museum or whatever, displayed by the museum or owned by the museum. Some of the museums are for-profit businesses, so back in the day they would buy, somebody would die or something, or a museum would go out of business and people would buy the collections from them. I'm sure it happens with other things besides guns as well. But as I'm researching the firearms museums, I start to research the museums that don't exist anymore, right? The museums that have been come and gone. And that's when I just found out about how, for example, this one museum's collection, when the guy died, he had a really impressive collection. And when he died, it went to Florida, and then it was in a different name, a different museum, and then it'll say it went to Nevada or went out west. And you have to kind of, well, I don't know. So I'm just, have to leave it at that. That thread goes out west or it goes to Nevada. So then I'm minding my business and reading about something else. And I find out about, this casino owner buys a collection from XYZ. So is that the same one? Do we just pick up where that collection came from or not, right? So as I was figuring out all about these collections and these museums that came and went, I found out about Harold's Club. And that is a casino, basically a club in Reno, Nevada, back in the day. And as the highways were being developed and people were traveling and Route 66 and all that kind of stuff, they were efforting to get people to come to Reno and check out their place of business. So one of the attractions that they created or added to their list was this gun collection. So very much like the J.M. Davis Museum, where that started as a collection in a hotel that you'd literally experience the collection by walking down the hallways or staying in a room that had a bunch of guns in it, right? From what I understand, you'd go into the lobby or you'd go into the restaurant and there'd be guns everywhere. So you were amongst the museum. That's how this museum was. You'd go into a bar and there'd just be guns everywhere. And instead of just being on the wall, they'd be a museum. They'd have information about them. And they even made a book about it. So that's what I found out in that video. I was going through looking at the one I needed, looking through all the others, and discovered that there was a second book in there about that Harold's Club. So it looks like John Smith posted a bunch of text in here. I don't know if he copied, probably grabbed this. He says he grabbed it from an online Nevada encyclopedia. But the Roaring Camp was a specific room at the Harold's Club, but it was more than that. It was the name of the general manager, floating tribute to antique guns, a massive collection of firearms displayed throughout the casino in the museum in the highest. It was a museum of the highest order in a carnival atmosphere. While it contained a few items from the early 20th century, the heart remained the hokey yet fervent memorial to the gunslingers, cowboys, explorers, soldiers, fortune seekers, and others who moved relentlessly westward across the United States in the 19th century. The guy bought the original collection from Raymond Stagg. Oh, snap. A Reno entrepreneur who in 1946 had opened the Roaring Camp and its gun collection a few blocks from Harold's. I'd heard that before. Because Stagg's operation was underfinanced, Smith was able to buy in as a partner, taking over management, and eventually he bought out Stagg, closed the business, and moved its antiques to his club in 1949. So 1946, a guy came by, only lasted for about 3 years. The guy who owned the bigger club eventually owned the collection, bought him out, and moved the collection over. Then it goes on to say at the height in the early 1960s, the collection included some 3,000 guns. So it's nowhere near J.M. Davis, but 3,000 is nothing to snicker at. Let's see, what is 3,000? If I go over to Gun Shop Guide and go to the main website, I don't need to log in. And we go to firearms museums. I sort of have them listed here by the number of guns. So 3,000 guns is what they had at their height. That would have been, 12,000 at J.M. Davis, 7,000 at the Cody Museum, 10,000 at Springfield Armory. Dragon Man has about 3,000 guns. The NRA Museum in Virginia has about 3,000 guns. So this is a casino in Nevada back in the 1950s that has, or I guess the 1960s, that has as many guns as the NRA Museum today, except that instead of being in a museum, they're displayed throughout a big casino. And it seemed like the kind of casino that was for adults, but not rowdy. At least I don't think it was rowdy. Let's see. Of the 3,000, about 2,000 were displayed in the Roaring Camp Room, the Silver Dollar Bar, and elsewhere. The Herald's Club owner called it one of the greatest gun collections, and it probably was. So they say that. What is that? Did you hear that? It says dog over here belching. Kind of girl dog belches like that. The museum included shoulder arms carried by Western explorers John Fremont, Kit Carson, as well as Jedediah Smith. A 44 owned by. I've seen all this before. So yeah, this actually could be from some of that might be from the book actually, because that's sort of the boilerplate description of the collection that you see pretty much everywhere online. So that's a big paragraph there. Then it says 1993, the Fitzgerald Group bought the Herald's Club from the corporation that owned it, and the collection was sold to an auction house in San Francisco. And on May 3rd, 1994, all those guns were auctioned off. So that means that those 3,000 guns that at one time were a collection that everyone got to experience and had some significant pieces are now in private hands. Yes, it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, I found that book in amongst all that stuff, and it's a book from like probably the 1960s or something. It's kind of gross, but interesting to see. It was a series of books about collecting guns and gun collections. So it's from the same people that did the one I was looking for about the Smithsonian book. Turns out the book I got about the Smithsonian gun collection was stupid. It was a shitty book. So I'm glad I didn't spend more than a couple of bucks on it. All right, well, we got a couple of people showing up. We're trying to pre-quark the quarking, but obviously it's not working because he pays people to watch his show probably. But better than my dog get him. Yeah, she doesn't do that kind of business around here. Don't ever tell her what that is because I don't think she knows what that part is. But yeah, she did burp right here for no reason. She's freaking out big time. Normally she doesn't have anything to do with me, but it's 4th of July and that means people are blowing stuff up around here. She hates that. People I stole her from were mean to her, I think, and they made a lot of noises. So she's completely terrified of noises. So right now she's doing okay, but she's pretty freaked out. Let's see. So we were going to chat about Wolverine Week, and I don't know how many people showing up now are people that grab stuff over at the store. A couple of people who did put in the comments what they wanted. I'm not screen sharing it, so I'm going to go over here and see. I've seen that happen quite a few times. I used to have a Rottweiler around here. Rottweilers are good for that. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orders. So if anybody out there that ordered something wants to pick something, feel free. Looks like there's only 2 people. Looks like barbecue and what would this be? The people that grab the Gun Channel's trading cards. Let's put it that way. That's the easiest way to say because I'm not sure what your screen name is. But if you're out or if you're one of the people that grab something from the store, feel free to let us know. I'm going to go through here and be super boring off air because it looks like we got the baby Yoda patch with the black AK. So I think what I'll do is screen share. Oops, I'll screen share the Instagram. So if I screen share that screen and then click on this and click on that, and we see everything, right? Am I still in here? You still got my audio? I think I'm still in here. Whenever I bring the screen up like this, half the time I drop myself out and then I'm muted. But anyway, we don't need to look at this. There's those there's the firearms museums. Calendar. We're going to the Instagram. We're going to the Instagrams. All right, so this would probably be the most recent and best picture. There's some others actually. That's not the best picture. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. This will include pretty much everything. So if you look at this one, it's actually zoomed in too much. I was trying to show some of the details in here. But if you go to the second picture, and then, because that pretty much covers everything over to the left, there's that joke one in there. And then you go one more over, and then you got everything over to the right. Keeping in mind, this is just a sticker that I sewed Velcro on. Don't really take that one. It's probably shitty. But I'll drop the link to the Instagram. And boom, anybody wants to grab something, feel free. So let's see, can I choose the 2A rally flag for my order last week and the X-Men Wolverine? You mean the PVC one, the colored in Wolverine over here? Because there's this goofy Wolverine that I screwed up, and it looks kind of like, I don't know what he's supposed to be, Spawn or something. Or what's that black Spider-Man called? Venom. It looks like Venom, kind of. Anyway, yeah, you can have that one. So, what is the story about the cheerleader? Well, I'm leaving that. I was going to put that. I need to put that up specifically on the Instagram, and I think I know at least 2 people that might know what it is. And when they see it, they might know. Otherwise, if they can't figure it out, I'll throw some more clues out there, I guess. But I'm hoping I did the patch close enough to the real deal so that it can be determined by just looking at it. Nobody took it, though. So let's see. So that was... Oh, you know what? I can go in on my end. Let me make sure I'm not showing anybody's address. Okay. So I can go in on my end, and you wanted... I have to go over here. I'm too lazy, so I'm going to go to open and then this view. And then I can shut it up over here, and then I can go over here and 2A rally flag and X-Men Wolverine. Got it. And then I can put that in as my notes on my end. Boom. And now you got it in there. So that's that one. And now we got, see, when I put my notes, I can't hover. When other people put a note on the order, you can hover over. It makes it a lot easier. So far somebody has grabbed that's what I opened up the picture for so I can figure out which one they're talking about. The baby Yoda with the black AK. So I guess that one, right? Is that the only one with a black AK? There's that one, has a gold one. I think there's way more baby Yodas than that, though. I don't have very many in this picture is the problem. But if he's talking about the ones in this picture, then it's that one with the blue background. Oh, let me get rid of this. I forgot about the Venom mess up. Yeah, okay, yeah, you want the PVC one, though. Because like I said, those PVC ones, I don't think there's that many. So definitely grab one of them. Well, I mean, there's no other that's goofy Venom-looking thing, but it doesn't even look good. It's a shitty design, and then it's a shitty sew of the design, so it's not great. Let's see. So that was, I'm trying to go in order of the way they came in. So that was Foss is getting, is he out there? But if he is, he's getting what he wanted. And then we got barbecue right there. We're waiting for this person. If they're around, the person that grabbed the Gun Channel's Vegas cards, then thanks for doing that for sure, because those are still paying off. We bought dinner for everybody in Vegas in 2018. So that's, no, 2019? No. Yeah, 2019. The beginning of 2019. So thanks for grabbing them. And then Chris sent me pictures of, he wanted one of the Pink Panthers, so we got that. I don't know if Pink is out here. I tried texting Pink yesterday. And then the last one that came in was at an hour ago. And that one, oh, he didn't say what he wanted. So let's see who that is. That would be the person that grabbed the bacon pancakes one. So whoever grabbed the bacon pancakes one, let me know. Oh no, there you are right there. Yeah, okay, so which one do you want? You're right there. Boom. Or did you already say? No, I don't think he said. So whatever, you were the last one in, but I think like I say, there's this Pink Panther, am I still screen sharing? This Pink Panther right here is taken. That Yoda right there is taken. And that 2A rally flag is taken. I think everything else is still there, unless I'm totally screwing up. Everything else is still there. So, right on. Baby today was a neat idea. What do you mean? This is showing a little behind the scenes. Puppy has to come in because of the fireworks and stand next to me all the time now. So she's making sure everything never been touched by a kitten and no other dogs have sniffed it. I got any preference on the Baby Yodas? We've got, let me try to go to that other picture too, because there's a bunch of Baby Yodas still. So this one shows more Baby Yodas. So this Baby Yoda with the black thing is gone, and that Baby Yoda with the black background is gone, I believe. So you still got, I guess there's only two others. Oh, I guess there are only two others. So there's the green one, which is a little bigger, and then there's the, can I zoom in? Then there's this one with a gray background and kind of a bold thing. This Baby Yoda has sort of a brown color, and then I switched to tan color on this one, and then I switched to this gold color. It's actually the same gold color as that, I think, but it comes out pretty good. But I think it really looks best on this. But I'm pretty sure this one got grabbed already, sorry. Oh, there's a little zoom in on it. The green one? All right. So now I'm going to go in here and put in the notes the green Yoda. Yeah, so that's awesome. I appreciate everybody who jumped in and grabbed something today. My goal was to make $300 because I put $300 worth of goop on the roof, but we brought in $180. So by the time fees and stuff, that's still better than a kick in the ass. So I do appreciate it. We'll have a bunch of these things for future use. I can't sell any that are copyright infringements, obviously, or trademarks or anything, but maybe I can take some of the other stuff and put it up as auctions. I need to have money to be able to pay bills. People don't take Second Amendment advocacy in payment for cable and phone and rent and shit. So do need to have some cash. So I'll keep working on using these things to turn into money. And we'll continue to cork the shit out of corkers. So if anybody's got anything else, I think that's everybody's order. So we can end the Wolverine week. Of course, let's see. I didn't really count because I don't think anybody bought any AKs at all. Unless I'm wrong, but if anybody bought any AKs, it's only one. So we got no danger of handing out the giant AK or the giant Spetsnaz patch, but I kind of threw that in there, hoping that we'd get a bunch of sales today. Threw it out that if we sold 10 of the AK patches, that I would, from those people that bought the AK patches, I would give out this giant Spetsnaz machete patch. I guess we'll keep this giant Spetsnaz machete patch and try to do that again in the future at some point. And then we chat about the week. So we had a pretty decent week as far as the projects go with the two-way patch batch underway. And, you know, if you've been listening to this show, you understand that the ulterior motive to that is to get the Second Amendment people together, the advocates together, people that may not already know each other, so that they have an opportunity to work together and check things out. So if we head over to it, there it is. It's already up to 11% with 23 days to go. And you know, we've had a pretty good set of, or you know, pretty good, what's the word, communication and kind of getting everybody on board. It wasn't easy to get everybody going, but now that it's running and everybody's kind of getting the hang of it, it's working pretty good. So had a pretty good, this is going to be a weird 4th of July series of posts. So I don't know if it's worth scrolling through the Instagram. It's kind of boring. I'm about to unsub Mossberg. I'm getting sick of their shit. They're not doing it here, but if you go up to their little circle, they're like, paint job. Art, I guess. Like if you like to see burning art, I guess. You know, it's their right, I guess. It's art. But then they're like, you know, I know what country I live in. It's 4th of July, all right. And then they're like, fuck it. Let's just take a flag, get it all dirty, wad it up, throw our shit on it. And then they're like, fuck it. Let's just paint a flag on shit and throw shit on it. So, see ya, Mossberg. I don't need to follow their shotgun company. I was only doing it because every once in a while they post a picture that's kind of interesting. But I don't need disgraced flags in my life, not on the 4th of July. Liquid screen share. There's no point watching my screen. I will drop a link out here if anybody wants to jump in for the 4th of July anti-corking corkathon. And you can be part of the anti-cork effort, the anti-cork campaign for all the cork shows out there. I like to advocate for all the shows that are minding their business and getting corked on a regular basis. Saw a few people involved promoting the patch batch. Yep, they're like say we've got instead of just putting it together, and you know, we kind of all knew each other last year, so it's just a little bit different kind of flavor to it this year. Some people are being introduced and not familiar with the concept of crowdfunding, so it's going to be what I hoped it would be, a useful effort for the people involved, and then you know, fun for the people that enjoy patches, I guess, too, because you get a pretty good deal, 12 patches for $50 shipped. Let's see. Let's put you on timeout. I got an AK patch today. I got one last week. My kids are going to fight over them. I've only got one. Yeah, right on. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'll throw another one in there. I don't mind. I kind of thought if a whole bunch of orders came in today, I had no idea how, how interested people would be in the Wolverines. And I figured if a bunch of orders did come in, it would just add another layer, because I figured the AK patch is a quick way to get the order up, right? It's $25 or something. So it's a quick way to get the order up. So in case a bunch of people ordered them, I'd just throw it out there as another level of thank you or incentive or however you want to look at it. Let's see. I'll help you out. I don't charge anybody for that. I charge somebody who's making money for my services, but I'm happy to help out, especially if we can do it live, if you don't mind that. Then everybody can look over the shoulder and see how the software works and the process. But yeah, you don't got to pay me for that. appreciate your support. And anytime you want a logo or something like that, we can work on that. I'd like to get some of the brown AZ flag patches if you do a gun. Well, I do have a few, so I just don't have enough anymore to keep them on the site. There are PVC ones at Beacon Group. I think I have those on the website, don't I? Shit, if I don't have those on the website, I better update it because I'm paying to have them sit there, basically. Beacon Group is that place here in Tucson, a fulfillment center. So trying to talk and click at the same time. It's a fulfillment center where Arizona Stuff. Yeah, if you go to Arizona Stuff, you've got the PVC version. So Beacon Group is a fulfillment center where they'll hold on to the stuff for us, and then when it ships, like when it sells, somebody buys something at the store, I have a second button over there, so I can either say thanks, I'm going to ship it, or I can say click, and then it gets shipped by a fulfillment center, and that might be any number of different other things, but for us, it is Beacon Group. So when we get the patches, in that case, we gave it to them, and then they have their crew take the patches and put them in, basically prep them. They put them into a small baggie with the business cards and stuff that we did at the time. And, that assembly work, I forgot what they charged us for that, some amount of dollars or cents or something for each one. And then that became a project for them for maybe a half a day or something. It seems like what they'll do is they'll have like 6 people on a project, right? And they'll explain what needs to be done and then let them loose. So I can't imagine it took 6 people an afternoon to do all of our patches. We didn't have that many. But that's the first thing. We give them our stuff and then they kind of prep them for sale. And then once they're prepped like that, they keep tally of them for us. And then they're just on a shelf and we pay for that warehouse space. And then whenever they sell, like I say, there's just a little button I click in the shopping cart and then it prompts them. I guess they get an email or something. And then they send it. And then every month I get a bill from them for the storage, for how many of them are sitting there, and then for whatever they shipped. And then, of course, their fees. And like I said, it's a wash. It's totally worth it. We get the patches either from Pink, and Marco used to buy the patches for us, basically, or get it to where the patches were really cheap for us. And then now, with the patch or whatever, we'll get a bunch of blue ones and we'll put them over at Beacon Group. And then whenever anybody buys one, that's why whenever you buy an Every Second Matters patch, it'll come in a separate thing from them. It just becomes a way for us to help, give them some support. Let's see. I have all the AZ stuff on my wall, but I know a few folks who'd like to receive a flag. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I've got a couple of the sewn ones. So that was actually the first thing we ever did, I think. I can't remember now. I think it was the flag is the first thing we ever did. And then once I did a flag, I did the gun websites logo. Or I might have done the gun websites logo first. I'd have to sit down and think about it. But those were the first 2 things we ever did. And no, I think I did the flag first. No, I don't remember. Basically, whenever I did the flag, they told me, well, you can do the flag in the colors you want, but now what border do you want? Because the flag doesn't really have a border, right? So I did the border. I was like, well, I don't know what color I wanted in. Can you show it to me in different colors? And they did. They showed me like a sample in their mock-up or whatever, because the Arizona flag has 4 colors. It has 2 different colors of ray in the sky, red and yellow, I guess. And then for whatever reason, it's got a blue lake under there. And then there's a copper star in the middle. And everybody else who makes an Arizona flag doesn't care. So they make the star the same color as one of the stripes, which is wrong, right? So I was like, I don't know what color the border is. There's no border on a real flag. So can you show it to me with 3 different options? And they did. They showed it to me with like a light, a medium, and a dark option. And that didn't help at all because it looks kind of cool with both of them, all of them, depending on what you're sticking it on. If you put it on something dark, it looks really good with a dark border. If you put it on something light with a dark border, it pops out. It's like, it doesn't look bad with any of them really. So I didn't know which way to go. And that's when, and this was like through a middleman. So this was not dealing with a factory direct. So I was talking to basically somebody who spoke English and understood the way that we talk, right? So I was like, well, I don't know which one I want. And they're like, well, what about both or all three? And that's when I figured out the trim you put on the outside of a sewn patch, depending on where you work with, they don't care what color that is. It's just a matter of what color they stick in their machine or whatever. So what I ended up doing is getting, if we got 100 patches, I got like 33 of one color, 33 of the other color, and 33 of the other color. Sounded like a great idea, right? Best of both worlds. You get 3 different colors. No, that's not the best of both worlds, because now what are you going to do? How do you sell those? Now you have to have 3 options, and now somebody comes up and goes, hey, I want a patch. Sure, which one do you want? We have 3 options. And they go, all right, see ya. Because they didn't want to go shopping. They just wanted a patch, right? So gun shops and stuff, when I first was doing this, I was trying to put patches in gun shops, seeing if that was a way to try to make some side money. And they're like, I don't want to stock 3 different things. Like, give me one. So it turned out to be a kind of a pain to have the 3 different options. And that's what I'm ending up with. I have a bunch of the single, like the odd ones that fell behind something, or often I would give them to people to do something with, and then years later they'll give me a handful. Oh, here's all the ones I didn't use, or here's all the ones that I don't know where these came from. They were in my pocket. So out of nowhere, I'll just get a whole bunch, or I'll go out in the cop car and look for something and be like, oh, damn, there's like 13 patches out here that we're out of. And I just got a whole bunch of them in the glove compartment for some reason. That's happened before. So anyway, I have a couple of sewn ones I can send you. All right, well, I threw the link out there. Nobody's jumping in. I guess it could just be a short show that ends before we'd be ending 8 minutes into our normal time, even though we're half an hour in. Yeah, like I say, everybody got their Wolverine stuff. Again, I appreciate it. We're not doing great here, so $180 is amazing. Thank you for that. Like I say, that'll probably be maybe $150 by the time fees and taxes and shit. So that's multiple bills. And that takes a big bite out of the roof money. FYI, since y'all helped pay for that roof, it did work. We had a little bit of rain, but not a lot. So it looks like, well, there was no leaks, which is the main goal, but it looks like it didn't like ruin the paint. Like I've definitely got paint up there too late before, too close to the rain, and you put wet paint up there, it rains on it, and it just washes the paint off your roof. Like you literally just throw hundreds of dollars away. I have done that before. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but this time I think I got it up there just in time to cook for like 2 days before it actually rained on it. So knocking on wood, looks like that was money well spent. The robot didn't get it all wet, although it didn't rain hard. It didn't really soak the roof. So I might sneak up there and try to do another coat if I can figure it out. So anyway, thanks again for helping with that. I think it's also tough to say because it hasn't been real hot, but having a nice clean white surface up there, I got to believe is going to help reflect a little more heat too. So it's got to be a little cooler with the clean white up there instead of that gray color that was up there. Sometimes we get people to show up on Fridays and chat. I guess this Friday is not going to be one of them, probably because of the anniversary of the country or whatever tomorrow. I'm assuming a bunch of people are going to go out and protest / riot. So they're getting their sleep in tonight. I would say it's probably a good idea to go riot at a fireworks place, right? And then loot it. And that way you don't have to pay for your fireworks tomorrow night. I don't know. Don't smoke if you're doing that. Probably a bad idea. Look over at the history here, see if anything happened that was any good. Watched a really interesting thing about a guy who does a tool show, like tools, hand tools, power tools. Makes about $3,000 a month on YouTube. So that was interesting. Doing a lot of like top 10 screwdrivers, top 10 cordless, this and that. You know, comparing a Harbor Freight to a Home Depot to a Lowe's device. $3,000 a month. You know, have you ever thought about getting your own PVC patch machine? You really can't, not in the United States. Anybody who claims that they're doing PVC work in the United States is as far as I know, and the people I've talked to in the biz, that's not possible. The materials are not EPA friendly or something. So I've thought about it, and half the reason when you sent me the little tiny bits and whatnot, half the reason I'm going to try to do stuff is so that I can try carving in aluminum. Right, as soon as I can get a design, I might send it to you so get it carved in aluminum, and see if we can't do something. Some measure, some what's the word, like some version of it. But at this point, I don't think there is such a thing. But the other problem is they're made for, think of like Nike shoes, or like, I think wasn't Dickies, Carhartts maybe. Somebody's got like a rubber thing, like a patch in their pants, right? That says like Dickies or something, or Carhartt. So that means that there's some place in some part of the world that's just doing that all day, every single day, right? They're only making little things that say Carhartt to sew on pants, or things that say Nike to sew on shoes. So the machines that they make for this are heavy duty. They're like not little. They're as big as old photocopy machines. So it's not something you would just buy. It's going to have to be something that you come up with or something. On the other hand, there are some robot, what do you call them, like robot prototype assembly websites out there. So I guess it's possible you could eventually get to where you could fabricate a robot to do it all. But the other problem is, when you get down to it, the cost of these things, getting them created for you by the companies that got giant systems in place, and that it's just not, there's no money in it. You're never going to be able to make it. How could you make something in this country for that kind of, you never make a profit on it, because everybody else would have the, what do you call it? You'd have to make it at like 4 times the price or 5 times the price probably by the time you're paying health insurance and Social Security on everybody. All right. Barbecue saying he can jump in, but anyone else got anything? Otherwise, just getting stagnant here. It was kind of cool. I let the dog out and it was nice out there, but even with, I think the thing's still running. Even with the big fans running, it's got stagnant in here. So talking to a wall when it's muggy and hot, kind of boring. We have been going for 45 minutes, and I think we successfully uncorked the corking. There's a small one on Alley for 2,000. It looks like it does 8 colors. Oh, really? So let me see what we're talking about here, because that would be a whole different story. I don't ever go to Alley. Which one is it? Alley what? Is that right? No, that's the right one. What is it called? Alley. I go to AliExpress, so I don't know what Alibaba is about as much. Oh, I did see this thing about these little tiny cars, though. I was thinking about getting these little tiny cars. Get rid of that stupid van, waste all that gas, and it's shitty. I could just hang out in this little tiny car. $2,000. That's the whole car. You're done. Boom. $2,000. Plenty of room. Just camp out in the back. I would just tint those windows so people didn't see in there. Crack that. No one even knows, and you got ventilation. Look at that. Plenty of room. The dog can sit in the back. I'll sit in the front. So what did you type in here? PVC hatch, I guess. Machine. $23,000. This is a PVC machine. I don't know what the hell that means. So I don't know what you're looking up. don't know how to link from my phone. I just typed in PVC patch machine. Oh yeah, look at that. Free, no, this is to actually buy patches. So, free sample, PVC patch machine made with PVC patch. That's a transparent PVC patch. That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's this one. Is this what we're talking about? 25,000 to 3,000 bucks? Or 2,500 to 3,000? Or some kind of video. Can you watch Alibaba videos on here? Is that legal?
No, I can't say I have.
Worst video ever. Is that installing a virus? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what I'm looking at. It's certainly a little machine or something, but oh, it's probably like a little plotter that squirts out the goop. That's what it is. You can tell from here that's what it is. So it wiggles around the plate and squirts the goop. That would be great if that thing was 2,000 bucks. I suspect that part isn't 2,000 bucks though. So PVC patch production line, liquid PVC, 5,000 bucks. Intelligent power saving PVC oven, 2,000 bucks. Practical double position baking machine, 1,000 bucks. So it looks like you need a $2,000 one part and a $2,000 other part. So it's like $5,000. Or the Chinese parts. But then what do you stick in there? Kind of goop. So let's see, PVC patch material. Went from 1,000 to 8,000. I don't think any of those videos work. Nozzle, 12 colors. Okay, so you're saying looks like it does 8 colors and PVC pellets. Basically just a 3D printer. Well, it's like a 3D cutter, I guess, but then you need the oven thing, which is nothing more than like a rolling oven, I think. I don't know. I can't imagine. It's just like every time I've seen the ovens in use, it's just like they shove it in there with their hands or they set it here and it gets shoved in. And then at a pre-described time, it pops out. So I can't imagine it's anything more than some heating coils and a timer. But maybe I'm wrong and there's some sort of crazy ventilation that has to take place because it's possible that it kicks out, noxious fumes that kill you or something. High production, 20,000 pieces in 8 hours, 24 hours running smoothly, continuously running systems. And you can make all kinds of different stuff out of it. Patches for gloves, that's what I've been looking for. And you can make all kinds of neat stuff. Soles for shoes. I don't know who has all this money for fireworks, but can you guys hear there's been fireworks going on this whole freaking time? Dog is freaking out. It's like mortars too, like big ones. Unless people are getting around some kind of restriction by shooting them off today instead of tomorrow. So anyway, that's the PVC stuff is just huge, expensive, noxious, and requires people, right? You'd have to have somebody doing all these things or else you'd be spent, I don't think it it would end up being, you wouldn't make money back on $1,000. I don't think you'd ever make money back because it would cost something to run it and to calibrate it at some point, so it doesn't just cost 1,000. Maybe you'd make money back after, I don't know, 20 runs or something. Depends on how much profit you made. Like say it's tough, but I don't know how tough it would be. I don't know if I've even done 20 patches so far in all the years. But this is all trying to do it at production level. Figuring out what is the process is being done is something totally different. Because if you don't need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, it could be pretty neat. I think barbecue got anything?
Let's say, going back to the whole fireworks thing, I've been dealing with it all week here. I've had my dog start barking at 3 a.m. because people are setting off fireworks this week. It's kind of getting annoying.
She doesn't bark. She'll just go hide in a corner. So I'll think if she's lost on or something, and I'll have to go look.
My dog is one of those dogs that likes to lay on top of my head.
And then bark when there's a fireworks. Yeah.
Yep. And a 60-pound coon hound and another 60-pound mutt laying on my head at 3 a.m. It's not the wake-up call I want. But got my new revolver today, went to the gun shop, and he was absolutely packed, which was nice to see. He's a... I like to think he...
Packed with customers or packed with merchandise?
Both.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I say honestly, throughout this whole pandemic, I'm always hearing people say about how their local gun shops have like no guns, no ammo or anything, and I don't know what his distributors are or anything like that because I was talking to him about it today, briefly at least, and he said his distributors have been great. They've been keeping them up, stocked with ammo. He's never been down on guns. He's been doing good business, he said. So, but yeah, he just moved locations about 6 months ago, and thank goodness he did because he was operating out of his garage basement area at his house for the last 10 years, and him and his wife finally bought a new place, and it had a separate building on the property that he was actually able to make just his store, and he's got a ton more room in there now, and I went in there and it was still asses and elbows. But yeah, it was nice to see that people are getting out and getting their stuff. I think part of it has to do with the holiday. Seems a lot of shops are going to be closed tomorrow, so I actually got to see one of those new gun buyers that everybody was talking about when the whole pandemic thing happened. And the guy was standing there. He's like, "Hey, do you have any 308 pistol ammo?" And Mike, the shop owner, kind of gave him a funny look, and he's like, "You mean 380?" He's like, the guy's like, "No, 308." He's like, "308's a rifle, bud." He's like, "Now, if you got a BFR or something that's chambered in a 308, he's like, yeah, I've got 308 ammo, but it's still technically a rifle round." And he's like, "No." So he pulls out the box and a 308 and shows the guy. He's like, "No, this is real tiny." He's like, "Yeah, you're looking for the 380. He's like, "Oh, okay."
That's usually the best way. Just show them like, "Oh no, here's a 308."
Yeah. Let's say, of all the shops around me, this is hands down my favorite one. He's always got good prices, always real reasonable and whatnot. So, really good shop to go to if you're in the Northwest PA.
Oh, Northwest. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was in the Northeast and I didn't find that many gun shops, but oh yeah, hopefully they'll have fun this weekend then. Everybody brought a bunch of guns. Could you tell what they were buying? Were they buying like I'm going shooting this weekend, or were they buying like I'm paranoid because I'm scared of everything?
What's that? Sorry,
it
my
like-
headphones got a bunch of feedback all of a sudden, so I had to unplug.
Is this thing doing that in and out thing again today?
No, you seem to be fine. That's something with my end. Every once in a while, my headphones and mic decide to give me feedback lately. So I'm not really sure what's going on with it. That's why I've been just using the mic on my phone still. But I figured I'd try and be fancy tonight and hook up the stuff, and it just started giving me some interference again. So. But so what were you saying about that? You said you were up in Northeast PA?
Yeah, I was just saying that there wasn't really that many. I was there like a day before I needed to go to New York. I hauled ass there to go to New York like on a Saturday. And then it turns out that you just can't go there. You need to have an appointment. And I couldn't get an appointment till Sunday. So I ended up being like hauling ass to get to the border of Pennsylvania and New York like a day before I needed to actually be there. So I was like, oh, no problem. I'll just look around at gun shops. And then I looked at the 2 gun shops, and that was it. So I went over to Scranton and hung out with Angry, that guy Angry. Used to live there.
Oh, okay.
And then went to a gun shop up there and looked around Scranton, I guess. And then, so anyway, so that's what I was thinking. Like there was, and then whenever I was driving, I think I was driving to Scranton. When you're driving around in a van, you're not even in a hotel or nothing. Whenever the sun comes up, you're ready to go. Like it's not like you're in a hotel and you're going to fart around and then eat breakfast and then get on the road. And, it's 9 or 10 o'clock by the time you're on the road. So, I'm on the road by 7 and, it's like, okay, I'll check out some different things along the way. But there wasn't very many. There was just not a lot of options from what I remember.
Yeah, it's a nice area up there, just scenery wise, but not a whole lot to go do. Are you practicing dry firing?
No, I'm just trying to figure out if anybody wants to say anything, but nobody's really jumping in. And you know me, I'm not here to just milk a show for no reason. I did want to cork it, so we went a little bit early today, but that got us in an hour. In before normally we'd be in a half an hour. So probably still getting corked actually. But anyway, mainly wanted to end up the week with the Wolverine week and make sure everybody got what they wanted from the Wolverine patches, and say thanks to the people that participated and chat about guns. But like I said, I can't make people chat, so I don't know what else there is to chat about. So I guess that this will end it. You got anything else you want to chat about?
No, I got nothing. I say, yeah, no, nothing.
Right on. So, like I say, we had a pretty decent week as far as things go. Stay tuned for a pretty fun week coming up, and we'll be back to pick you up later.